Hello everyone, my name is Anita Lamola reporting for duty, and I'm your host for Talking Finances with Aditola. In my first video, I talked about budgeting, introduction to budgeting. I gave us a definition of budgeting, and I kind of gave us a rough template on how to budget. Well, that's my rough template. That's something I try to live by. Try, because it's not always easy to live by the budget, because sometimes things might pop up, things beyond our control might pop up, and we have to make resources for it. We have to just find a way to make out something for that situation. And but in all cases, it is still very important to have a budget, because it saves you a lot. It saves you a lot in terms of resources. It saves you a lot in terms of time. You already know what your money is going into as it's coming, and I think it helps to reduce mental stress of thinking of, oh, what do I need to do next, so as not to skip anything important. I think it's very important. So today we're going to be outlining some of the points I mentioned in my first video. And the first thing I mentioned was paying your tithe and offering. As a Christian, as a believer, I think it is very important for you to give your 10% to the Lord. Yes, this is not a by force by fire thing, but once you have the love of God and fear of God in you, I think it is very important to do according to the views of God. And one of the things that is laid out in the Bible for us to do as Christians, as believers, is to pay our dedicate our first fruits, our first offerings to the Lord. And it's just 10% of whatever you're earning or whatever you're getting, and it is very fair, I think, because 10% of, let's say, 50,000 is 5,000 naira, and it doesn't always just have to be money. It could be your resources, it could be your time, it could be what you have to offer. Dedicate it to the Lord, and the Lord will bless you. The second thing I mentioned was paying all your debts. Settling all your debts. This is a very important thing. Many people don't think much about it, but it's very important. Well, left to the Bible, left to the Word of God, He would rather not let us borrow. He would rather that we give to nations than be borrowers, and be a blessing unto others. But to be honest with you, as humans, things pop up from time to time that are beyond our control, and sometimes it could also be as a result of poor financial planning, impromptu billing, and all that. And things just pop up, and we don't have the resources for it at that time. You borrow from your friends, you borrow from your family, you borrow from loan apps too, maybe. It is very important that you pay it back. Even if it's buying something on credit, once you get the money, pay it back. Paying it back will save you a lot of embarrassment and harassment. Trust me. Sometimes when we borrow from our family and friends, some of us might be like, oh, it's my friend, it's my family, I can always pay it anytime, even 2 months, 3 months, do not complain. And sometimes our friends and families might feel somehow about asking you for their money back. But I think it is very imperative of us to know that once you are collecting or borrowing something, taking something on credit from someone, you should always have the mindset to borrow it back. Even when the person tells you, don't worry about it, you should still first make that move and offer to pay it back. Don't just assume that because you know this person, the person is going to say, oh, don't worry about it. Make the offer first. In fact, sometimes when they tell you don't worry about it, insist, pay it back. It goes a long way. If you pay it back, if you give it back, they will have the confidence to borrow you next time, because they trust you that you always give them back. And it will save you a lot of mental, emotional stress and physical stress. When you owe, I'm sure many of you can relate that when you begin to owe people or places, or you begin to owe one place or the other, there's so much on your mind. You are always waiting for the next salary to come so you'll be able to pay it off and be done with it. You're thinking about it. It's not giving you rest. It's not giving you peace. You are stressed out about it because you want to pay it back, and because of you want to avoid the embarrassment and harassment that comes with not paying it on time. Especially for those that borrow with loan apps. These loan apps could be very embarrassing, and they can harass you. They can bug you with calls. There is no peace, there's no rest. Even if you made up your mind that you're not going to pay it off because you want to be stubborn, you feel like it is your right, you want to take the money and have it, you cannot be fully at peace, because they will not allow you to be at peace. To be honest, they will not allow you to be at peace. Tell you a funny story. When I started my service here, I served at Akwa Ibom, and when I got there, settling down cost me so much, and I didn't want to ask my family because I felt like they've done enough for me. You understand? And I didn't want to burden them with that too. But I needed to settle in. I needed to buy mattress. I needed to buy cooking utensils. I needed to, furnish where I stayed. I had the luck of being offered a lodge, a corpus lodge, by the state government. So housing was not my issue, but settling in was my issue. After all, I sleep on the floor. So I took out a little loan from one of those loan apps, and I paid it back. I did pay it back. But when I paid it back, the months that came, I didn't factor in that I had to feed, that I had to, take care of myself, transport and all that. And it took a toll on me, and I found myself in this cycle of borrowing and repaying, borrowing and repaying. And it didn't end till like sometimes early this year. And I'm grateful to God for that. But as I speak to you, I'm still, struggling, but it is getting to an end. It is gradually coming to an end, and I believe it's going to come to an end soon. So that's the thing with borrowing. Borrowing won't give you peace, and borrowing is like a cycle. You don't know it until you find yourself neck deep in it. You just wake up and realize one day that is this thing not too much for me like this? Abby, waiting with this. So you think to yourself that this is too much. And whenever you are borrowing, whenever you are taking out a loan or whatever you are doing, make sure to factor in that whatever you are borrowing is not more than what you earn. Sometimes many of us borrow with the intent of, when my salary comes in, I'll pay it back. Fine. Let's say you borrow 300,000 from somebody, you're earning 100,000 every month. You say you are going to pay 50,000 over a duration of 6 months. Before you make commitment to that 50,000 for a duration of 6 months, have you taken into consideration that you are going to pay for your feeding, for your transport? You are going to, in case you get sick, you are going to take care of yourself. In case your family pops up and asks you for anything, I really need a financial favor from you, I need to do this, I'll pay it back. Or something comes up at home, have you factored those things in? Whatever you are borrowing, let it be that when you want to pay it back, it is an amount that is not going to stress you. It's an amount that you don't have to think twice about, because it's going to be easy for you. It's going to be like a residual change after factoring in your welfare for the month. So make sure you don't borrow above your means. Don't allow whatever you borrow be more than what you earn. It's going to put you through a lot of emotional, physical and financial stress, which you don't like at the end of the day. It's going to stress you a whole lot. So be careful when you borrow. Make sure it is something you can pay back. And lastly, when you borrow, don't allow them to pursue you up and down before you pay it back. Let it be. I'm just going to hammer on the fact that let it be between your means. Let it be within your means. Let it be something that will not stress you. And for those of you that are being guarantors for your friend, see, it's not bad, but they will stress your life. The Bible says, don't let yourself be a surety for your friend. If not, even your bed will be taken from under you. Be careful. Being a guarantor to somebody is not something you just do anyhow for anybody. And you that are borrowing, don't just put anybody's name as your guarantor. When Kasala bursts, Auntie guarantor. See, your guarantor will first of all use police to pack you up before the loan app will come and pick you up. Because why are you stressing this person? Let whoever is your guarantor, let this person know. In fact, you are going to make anybody your guarantor, let the person know what you are using the money for. Let the person know your payment plan. Let the person have a backup from you, a surety from you that you will pay it back. If the person even decides at all to be your guarantor. So don't just put somebody through the stress of being your guarantor. And I know you do, be responsible with your money. Imagine taking out loan to use it to enjoy yourself. You take out loan. First thing you do is go to KFC chicken because you've tried and you need to be pampered and taken care of. It is well. Time will tell. See, okay, let's leave it at that. So I hope we've gotten something from today's lesson, and I hope we begin to put it in place. If you have any outstanding loans, if you have any outstanding debts, if you plan to take out a loan, if you plan to take out borrow from your friend, make sure you have something to pay it back. I hope we are clear. Make sure you have a solid plan to pay it back. If you cannot pay it back immediately, when due, maybe in the third month you get tired, something pops up and you're not able to pay, let it be communicated with whoever whatever you took that loan from, that this is it, this was going to happen, and I'm going to pay it back at so and so date and so and so time, to avoid embarrassment and humiliation. Recap of everything I've said. If you borrow, you don't pay back, you will be embarrassed, you will be humiliated. It will take a huge toll on your financial, mental, physical health. You will be stressed to this place. But when you are taking out a loan, make sure it is something that is not above your means. Make sure it is something that you are sure you can pay back. Make sure it is something that will not take a toll on you. So I hope everybody have heard me for today. So see you next time. We'll be exploring the other aspects of budgeting which I mentioned, making room for your utilities and rent. Have a nice day. Bye.